Well, it's May the 23rd. I thought I'd give you an update what I'm doing in my backyard where we live. The apples are working. My walking stick is all leafed out. This little peach tree, it's been we'll get a little more sun now that I got that big hole where those two oak trees were. And there are a few peaches hanging on them. This zoya grass, now that it's gotten warm and got a little sun on it, is starting to come back. My tomato plants need to go in the ground. I've got 4 2x4s in a brick. So that's 3, 6, 7.5 inches jacked up. And I'm just trying to keep them from coming out the top. In case it rains, I have to put a tarp on it. There's some of my extra ones. This is classified as a sunny day here lately. At least it's enough sun to make them grow. The grapes are just sort of sitting. They're not really gaining a lot in size. My climbing rose has a few roses on it still, and they'll have some during the year. My gladiola bulbs are starting to come up. I'm starting to cut back and weed eat with my weed eater. My miniature rose called Popcorn has been here for over 20 years, and it has been a great one. My hostas that I should have planted last year are really going great. And my poor little hydrangea that needs to go in the ground actually bloomed. Our peach tree has a few peaches on it, but if you look on the ground, there's more on the ground than there are on the tree, which is very typical for this particular peach tree. It doesn't really matter. See, that one needs to be knocked off. Doesn't really matter because the squirrel's going to eat them all in about another week. They can't wait. And they'll pick one and bite it and throw it down and pick another one until they're all gone. I'm slowly increasing the light for my impatiens, and they're starting to fill out since I've trimmed them back. The problem this year is this has gone completely out of control. I'm holding this at the top of my head, and I am 5'11". So you can see that that's 6.5, 7 foot. These azaleas have gone out of control, and I'm going to have to do some severe pruning. That's an apple tree right there. There's another one sticking its head out in the middle back there, and another one right there. This just choked it off. It can't survive this way. It's a little shadowy in here because we don't have a lot of sun, but all my little plants seem to be going healthy. I'm going to show you a little thing I just noticed here the other day. Over in those bushes about 6 feet past that pot, put a praying mantis cocoon I found. I cut the twig off and hooked it to a branch over there with a clothespin. This plant right here was actually sitting where that cactus is. And there's a praying mantis egg cocoon mass that hadn't opened yet, hadn't been warm enough. It will have hundreds in it, and I've never seen them put it on 2 leaves. It's always on a twig. But back to my problem. This is a jungle. Yesterday I cut a path through here just to get in there to be able to prune it back. This apple tree is producing some apples, but it is originally I tried to espalier this and it just got out of hand. Now that I'm missing a couple oak trees, I can get a little more sun in here. But of course the squirrels are going to get most of them, so whatever. Now this side, as you can see, is a jungle. That used to be a walkway from here to the other side. You can't even see it. All of these are going to have to be cut back to waist high, and a lot of the things that are coming out the ground are going to have to be cut off. But see how thick that is? Nothing is happy in there. There's an old weed tree. My poor little apple tree, I think I can salvage it, but I've got all this wild grapevine growing up in here because it's native to Virginia. And I started on this bed yesterday, and see, it's a lot more daylight in here. I need to cut it back. But you can tell from that bed it's going to take a lot of cutting, and a lot of cutting over here. I pulled the espalier poles because they weren't doing any good. I've still got that one and one down there to pull. And this bed's been opened up. Since the azaleas have finished blooming, now's the time you need to prune them back, because now we'll get new growth and some of them will set flower buds. And by August or so, September, all the buds will be set for flowers. If you wait later, they won't be able to set any flowers. Now there'll be some bare spots on this, but see, I've widened my driveway by cutting it back. And see, this bed is a lot more open than it was. And these cedars had this ivy, which is taking the place over. Don't ever plant it. It was here when we got here, and it just keeps growing. You can't do anything about it. It's one thing you should never plant. And this is what I've taken off of the edge of that bed, a little on the inside, and that one bed right there. So I'm going to have about 3 loads to go to the landfill. At least our landfill chops all this up and makes mulch out of it.